Hi, welcome to the channel. Can a citizen sentence you to death? I mean, a citizen like you. Let's talk about blasphemy, mob action, and Nigeria's rule of law. Now, the drama all started when this man called for the execution of this man. Should anyone be allowed to do that? Now, recently, a Nigerian imam offered a 2 million naira bounty to anyone who beheads a pastor. At the same time, a Nigerian lawyer said there's no justification whatsoever for killing someone over blasphemy. So, who is right and who decides who's right? That's the big question. If you're new here, well, we're about to have a discussion about law, religion, touchy, and how they clash in Nigeria. Today, we're talking about something that sounds medieval, but actually happened on the most modern mode of media that we have ever experienced, that we have currently on social media. A public bounty for red rum over religion. Now, this isn't just online drama. Nigeria currently has people on death row, if you didn't know, for blasphemy. Homes have been burnt, families have had to flee. So the question matters, should a citizen be able to call for the execution of another citizen? And what really happened? On April the 13th, an Imam, Sheikh Adam Ashaka, publicly announced a bounty, first 1 million, then he increased it to 2 million for the beheading of Pastor Emmanuel Sunday Garba over alleged insults to Prophet Muhammad. The comments, well, people were split over this. Some people supported it while others called it incitement and tagged the DSS to arrest the Imam. One person said, no individual has the right or power to place a bounty on someone's head in a sovereign state governed by law. A certain barrister, Aminu Salihu, was quoted as saying, now he is both a lawyer and as well as an Islamic scholar, and he was quoted as saying, there is no justification whatsoever for executing someone for blasphemy. And love for Prophet Muhammad doesn't justify hatred toward Jesus. These are the words of a barrister and an Islamic scholar. So you see, there are different schools of thoughts when it comes to this. So we have two competing claims, it seems, both from Nigerian Muslims, both made in public. Now let's test them against the law. What does Nigeria actually say? Nigeria runs, as you may know, two legal systems, federal law, and of course in 12 northern states there's Sharia law. Now, under Section 204 of the Criminal Code, insulting religion is an offense. But, this is key, calling for someone's murder is incitement. Now, that's a separate crime under federal law. Even where Sharia applies, the courts have ruled that only a Sharia court, now this makes sense, only a Sharia court can try blasphemy after due process. A private citizen announcing the sentence is just a vigilante. And vigilantism frequently usurps the jurisdiction of the courts. So, legally, a citizen cannot sentence another citizen to death. Now, what he can do, though, is file a police report. He can sue, he can condemn, but he cannot issue a bounty. Now, anyone who does that cannot be fully be said to be defending religion. He's replacing the state because he's in himself a parallel authority. Now, if you're going to take a look at what happens after a bounty call, of course, there's going to be retaliations, and this case was no different. There were threats in the opposite direction, a little tug of war going on. Some people saying kill any imam, which is foolish to me, and definitely isn't justice. One Hausa language page put it perfectly, and it said, focusing on punitive action while ignoring the underlying causes of religious tension is meaningless. Coexistence, now I like this one. Coexistence doesn't mean that we'll never be offended. Nigeria has 200 million people, multiple religions. Offense is guaranteed. The question is, what is the process when this happens? Process in this case meaning police investigations, courts, punishments, all legal. Mob justice, of course, basically means who shouts the loudest or who can get the most violent. And we've seen where that ends. Omar Farouk was 17 when he got 10 years for blasphemy. His parents disowned him. Yahya Sharif Aminu's home was destroyed. If the state wants to exist, well, it has a number of jobs to do here. So let's break it down into four. Number one, it has to force incitement laws equally. Uh, People keep asking why DSS moves fast for politicians but slow for religious threats. That's a very good question. Now, the second on the list is they have to resolve the constitution clash. Kano's High Court said Sharia blasphemy law doesn't violate the constitution, but appeal courts keep on sending cases back. Yahya Sharif Aminu's appeal is at the Supreme Court since 2022. Now, until that is settled, everyone is claiming legal high ground. Number three, protect the accused and stop mobs. You cannot have justice if the suspect gets lynched before the trial. Now, can you? Or if their families have to flee their homes. And the fourth one, this is very important. Use religious leaders to de escalate the situation. When Barrister Salihu says blasphemy doesn't justify murder, that's what it should be. That's theology doing conflict resolution. That's the love child of theology and conflict resolution. We need much more of that, not less. Now, back to the question, should a citizen be able to call for your execution? The answer is no. Because the moment we accept that, we've agreed that there is no country. Now, any one of 200 million people could have a death penalty imposed on them at any time. Coexistence, like I mentioned earlier, is not the absence of offense, it's the presence of a process. And if we don't defend the process, we have nothing to lose, stops being a threat, and starts being a plan. Rule of law or rule of mob or rule of the jungle. The choice is yours, people. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Nigeria's Supreme Court should strike down blasphemy death penalties or keep them? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.